The Las Vegas Aces got 2 wins against the Chicago Sky and the Washington Mystics. Let's discuss right here on Viva Las Aces. Welcome back to Viva Las Aces. I'm your host, D, and this is the podcast where we discuss everything that is Las Vegas Aces. So going over the games, any news, things like that. So be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. Drop some comments below. Let me know your thoughts. And so we had 2 games this week where the Las Vegas Aces took on the Chicago Sky and the Washington Mystics, and both of these games were very different, both of them very entertaining. Let's go ahead and dig into the Washington. Oh, actually, I wanted to dig in the Washington game. Let's go ahead and dig into the Chicago Sky game first. And so this one, right off the rip, Angel Wilson just comes out and dominates. She shows why she is continuing to get this MVP buzz, why they should have made her the MVP last year. She just comes out and rips 15 points right off the bat. And the Chicago Sky team was actually one that it felt like you can tell it was a young team. The Aces really just got to the line anytime they wanted to. The Chicago Sky were really just kind of fighting with everything that the Aces were doing. Mabry came out of the gates hot for the Chicago Sky. She got 10 of the first 15 points for the team, but that quickly cooled off as we went down the stretch in the second half. This was actually an interesting lineup because it was Chelsea Gray's first start with the Las Vegas Aces this season, coming off of injury. I believe this was her 3rd game back, getting into the rotation. So they played it pretty guard heavy. So it was Chelsea Gray, Kelsey Plum, and Jackie Young. And realistically, where the big 3 come from are Angel Wilson, Jackie Young, and Kelsey Plum. And you didn't really start to see Chelsea Gray get into the game too much this game against the Chicago Sky. That came actually later against the Washington Mystics, and that's something we'll go ahead and talk about. But the big 3 in Angel Wilson, Jackie Young, and Kelsey Plum went off on this game. Another key piece to this game, obviously, we got to talk about her. The Chi-Town Barbie, formerly the Bayou Barbie, Angel Reese came to town. She is a walking double-double in this game. She got her 9th straight double-double. Today, I'm recording on Sunday, the 30th. She just got her 10th double-double of the season in a row. So kudos to her. She is doing her thing. One thing I did notice, and I'm pretty sure she is going to get better at this. I mean, we're seeing it with Angel Wilson herself, being someone who could play in the post, who knows how to get to their spot, who can draw the defense and draw fouls. Now Angel Wilson is starting to back off and actually play from the deep mid-range, and then from the 3-point line as well, shooting a lot better. That is something that Angel Reese is going to have to get better at moving forward, because this Las Vegas Aces team, we're just completely backing away from her, daring her to shoot from the 3-point line. And of course, as we go through this season and throughout her career, I'm sure she is going to get better. But man, this Chicago Sky team came out and they were aggressive. They were really, really aggressive. That ended up getting them into foul trouble. Okay, yeah. So right off the bat, Angel Reese got 2 quick fouls in the first quarter, and that actually affected the game a lot because she was being really effective in that first. In the second quarter, it came a lot softer because she had to worry about her fouls. I think the 3rd foul came right at the end of the second quarter as well. So it just really changes the trajectory and, of course, how you play, how aggressive you go up against this Las Vegas Aces team. It really just affects it. And that's one thing that Angel Wilson is just a master at, is the ability of getting into the paint, drawing people up with the pump fake, and then finishing while also getting an and one. She's just awesome at that, and she put that on full display against the Chicago Sky team. And one thing I did notice with the Chicago Sky is the way they play defense when they have both Camila Cardozo and Angel Reese both out on the floor. They are more susceptible for some reason to getting back cut. So you've seen that a lot from the Aces, and they recognized it, and it was working all through that first half. One other thing I wanted to note was Kate Martin got a huge ovation from the Chicago crowd, which was something that I was a little bit surprised at, considering the rivalry between the Angel Reese LSU teams and the Kate Martin slash Caitlin Clark Iowa teams. I was like, dang, good on the Chicago crowd for giving Kate Martin. I feel like just universally Kate Martin is loved. And then as I was thinking that, Diamond DeShields just smashes, absolutely destroys Kate Martin with the screen. And I'm like, okay, that's Chicago ball. Love to see it. I do. If I wasn't an Aces fan, I would. I do really like this Chicago style of play. It almost brings me back to the not really Detroit Pistons, but kind of a similar style where they're going to play hard. They're going to get after it. They've got a lot of dog in them. Let's go ahead and play ball here. I like that from them. If they could just rein it in a little bit more, if they can get one more piece to add some scoring into this team could be dangerous moving forward. They're just not there yet. I mean, they brought it close in the third quarter, but I mean, this team just shut them down. The Aces just continued on. As I mentioned, the big three and Asia Wilson. Asia Wilson had 20 before the half. Kelsey Plum closes it out in the fourth quarter with 15 points, and that was after Jackie Young in the third scored 12 by herself. So just one of those things where it's like, where do we stop? It's like that, where do we stop the leak? And everywhere you put your hand to stop the leak, another leak pops up, and just scoring and more offense for this Las Vegas Aces teams. This was a good win. It was a fun win, and I loved it. Now moving over to the Washington Mystics game. This game, I was already ready to write it off. I was going to be like, yeah, I'm not going to talk about this game. Whatever. This is a beat-up Washington Mystics team. They have a short rotation. They have no depth because of the injury bugs that they've really faced. And just looking at it, it's like, okay, this is not interesting to me. But I was like, you know what? Let's tune in. We got to tune in. We got to take a look. We got to support the team. And this was a fun game right off the bat. The Mystics came into this game. They were the number one team in 3-point attempts and 3 points made over the last 8 games in the league. It showed. They came out and Steph Dolson shot the lights out. She went 3 for 3 right off the rip from 3-point. And this Mystics team shoots, as I said before, they shoot the most 3-pointers over the last couple weeks from the league. And you can see them like not afraid to back down. And I think because the rotation is so short, they were like, hey, we have to get up on this team. Otherwise, we have no chance at it. And they were really effective against Asia Wilson. I don't think Asia Wilson had a basket in that first half. And if she did, it was one. So they were really effective as far as shutting down Asia Wilson and being like, Aces, who do you got for me? Who's going to come out and make a play? And insert Chelsea Gray. Chelsea Gray looked a lot more comfortable in this second start with the Aces. And I could see why they were like, once she gets comfortable, we have a coach on the floor. She was throwing out passes and dimes where I was like, what is Chelsea? Oh, it's right in her hand. Oh, it's a dime. Oh, it's going up for 2 assists for Chelsea Gray. And then she was throwing, once she got comfortable within her shot, it was lights out. Chelsea Gray at the end of the third had this play where she shoots a 3 to end it. She draws contact and she ends up going to the line. She gets 3 free throws, banks them, gets them all. And then that cuts it from a 5-point lead going into the fourth quarter for the Mystics all the way to a 2-point lead for the Mystics, which is a huge game changer. So just little things here and there that Chelsea Gray was adding to this team are just super invaluable. And you could see why they were like desperately missing her on the floor in her absence. It's great to see Chelsea Gray back. Going over to the Mystics again, I already mentioned Steph Dolson coming out and shooting the lights out. She was awesome to see. They were calling her Big Mama Steph. It was just a fun game. The Mystics were in control all of the first half, pretty much of the third quarter. It was cool. This is a league of interesting storylines, interesting stars from the previous game where you have Angel Reese, you have how is she going to interact with Asia Wilson guarding the best player. Then you go over to this Washington Mystics where it's like, okay, this team has been depleted by injuries. Who's going to step up? and they have a 31-year-old rookie named Julie Vanloo. And Julie Vanloo plays aggressive. Like, she is a player that you want to watch. She plays aggressive. She has swag. She comes out and has confidence. The ultra rare rookie vet combo. And she is a dog. And you could see why, like, I guess they were talking about them pregame with Becky Hammond, and Becky Hammond was like, I love Julie. I think that she is awesome and she's everything that this league needs. It's really cool to see. It's just, again, how could you hate this league when they have just such cool characters, such cool storylines? The Washington Mystics just didn't have enough depth throughout this stretch of this game. In the second half, when they should have just been like, okay, let's play defense, let's extend things out, let's make sure that we are taking as much time off the clock as possible because we've already built up a lead. Instead, they have 3 quick turnovers in the third, and it just swings the momentum. Actually, the Mystics had 4 turnovers early in the third. Vegas takes advantage of it. They end up taking the lead, and it goes back and forth from the third on. And then on the back half of the fourth quarter, the Las Vegas Aces end up getting the win. They pull away at the end. The Mystics just didn't have it in them to really overcome. I think, again, that short rotation doesn't help them at all when you get into rock fights with one of the more talented teams in the league, in the Las Vegas Aces. But what a fun couple of games. The Chicago Sky, the Washington Mystics. If you have League Pass, go back and watch those games. They were a ton of fun. I guarantee you'll love them, and keep moving forward because I think we have some really cool things. Let me check the schedule moving forward. Yeah, and it only gets more fun from here because next, the Aces are taking on the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark. That's going to be on Tuesday. And then they see the Mystics again for fireworks on the 4th of July. And then they are taking on the Sparks. So it's going to be a fun couple of games. I'm really looking forward to it. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. We'll see you later. Viva Las Aces.